Hello and welcome to another anime lore and theory video. I'm Shergok, your host, and today we are going to take a closer look at how Mare could have survived a spell that killed him. But before we're going to take a closer look at any of this, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, and say my thanks to all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. And with that said, let's start with the topic at hand. Mare Bellofiore is one of Nazarik's floor guardians. As a druid, he not only possesses an impressive array of spells, but also one that manages to withstand Zesshi's strongest attack, even though the full effect of this very skill seeks to prevent exactly that. But at first, let's have some context. Mare, after Einzulgon had cornered and severely wounded the Elf King, received the order to capture him alive. Now, normally Einzulgon wouldn't just deploy Mare against an unknown enemy that both just had met on the same day. However, after Einz fought against the Elf King, he knew his strength, his abilities, and gradually wore him down until his very own mana ran out, before severely injuring him with the spell Reality Slash and causing serious damage to both of his legs with an explosion spell, thanks to his exploding mines. And therefore, the Elven King was no longer an opponent, he was prey. Without mana, he wouldn't be able to unleash spells that could seriously threaten mana, or catch him off guard, or to teleport himself away, and he was physically very weak already. And throughout his entire battle, Einz also couldn't identify any particularly dangerous items that could have summoned very powerful beings like dragons or just Doomlords. So on this front everything was clear as well, and the general behavior of the Elf King gave away that he was defeated. In that sense, Einzulgon's decision wasn't particularly reckless. However, still under normal circumstances, all three would have pursued and captured the fleeing Elf King. But the circumstances weren't normal. Outside the gates of the Elven capital stood the military might of the theocracy, and at that moment Einz didn't want to risk diplomatic tensions, let alone an open conflict with Slain, even though his actions were hostile towards the theocracy. In simple terms, Einz considered that the Elven Kingdom possibly held valuable artifacts, much like the Kingdom of Riestide did with Razor's Edge, and Climb, who possessed a wild magic ring, originating from the Dragon Lord Zarendorkus Vasion, was also quite the catch, not only for Renna. And therefore Einz wanted to ensure that these possible treasures were secured before falling into the hands of the theocracy, a humanocentric state and potential geopolitical rival of the Sorcerer Kingdom. Moreover, Einz and Demiurge suspected that players might still be present and slain. Therefore, Einzulgon was both concerned about not being caught and about finding the valuable items in the palace's treasure chamber before Slain could. Hence why Mare was sent to catch the wounded and manaless Elven King, while Einz and Aura plundered the treasure chamber. And that's when Mare crossed paths with Zesshi, who had already killed her original target, the Elven King. Twice, to be precise, because the spell, Mercy of Shoria Robusta, caused Decam Hugin to be killed a second time by Zesshi, shortly after his first death, after the spell had brought him back briefly to life, only for him to die again. And after that the battle between Mare and Zesshi erupted, because Zesshi mistook Mare for an enemy, and one that she could easily defeat. Therefore Mare found himself on the defensive. On the other hand, he didn't want this fight, and informed Einz and Aura that a very strong opponent was present within the palace, so all Mare had to do was hold his ground. And Zesshi, on the other hand, due to the very deep wounds of the Elf King and his pitiful and pathetic state, knew that more opponents were on the way already, and that they would be also formidable. And therefore Zesshi attempted to quickly end this fight with Mare and used one of her 2 trump cards, the goal of all life is death, the same ability that Einsulgon also possessed. And Zeshi's ability came from another Overlord, one of the so-called 6 great gods of the slain theocracy, or as we know, one of the 6 players who had arrived in the New World 600 years ago, Surshana, the nation's death god, and whom scythe Zesshi used as her primary weapon. And the scythe was imbued with a spell, namely the level 4 spell Death, and it was this very spell that Zesshi now amplified with one of her 2 immensely powerful skills, the goal of all life is death, that would ignore all resistances and all defenses to eliminate Mare within seconds. And after a delay of 12 seconds, during which Zesshi was on the defensive and had to focus on dodging Mare's physical attacks and strikes, and after Mare had cast the spell Phoenix Flame before engaging in close combat, nothing happened, and Mare continued to strike at Zesshi, who didn't understand what was happening. In fact, her skill, the goal of all life is death, should have been successful no matter what spell Mare had used for his own protection, as this skill nullifies all resistances against death spells, no matter how or why somebody is immune against them, even if they are undead, or a construct that isn't even alive in the first place. It would die. A single hit means death. And it was an extremely effective way to end almost any fight. However, not only Dakem Hugin the Elven King has cast a resurrection spell, but Mare also countered Zeshi's skill with Phoenix Flame, or rather he was immediately revived after being hit by the goal of all life is death. This is the same counter that Sheltier Bloodfallen used to survive Ein's version of the skill, simply because Sheltier received a resurrection item from Pero Roncino that brought her back as well. And Mare countered Zesshi in the same way, because he knew exactly how the spell and the skill functions, and how they could be countered, not by actually preventing the effect of the goal of all life is death, but simply by casting a spell that would revive Mare after being hit. After all, Mare was a witness to the battle against Sheltier, together with Aura, as they were tasked with capturing those who dared to put the blood-red Valkyrie under mind control. So one could even say that Zesshi failed successfully. She had killed Mare for fractions of a second, only for him to be immediately resurrected, something she hadn't expected and didn't understood. And with that said, now it's your turn. What are your thoughts on Mare's death and subsequent resurrection, and about Zeshi's spell, or rather Zeshi's skill that she had learned from Surshana through his weapon? Let me know it down in the comment section. And while you type, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Other Daddy Other, ASK, Bad Guy Yee, Bad Burrito 316, Biza, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowdy0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Dragonlord Placido Saxophone, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Firashivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Hoster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Love Razor, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, Oh Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantum, Personage, Primus 11, Rhinomir, Cune Caracos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Sir Axolotl, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rocket Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenukai, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon under my next video.